Okay, in this short video we're going to talk about calibration tools. And this is a complex topic, GEC calibration. So let me just go to the teacher's account. Now these calibration capabilities are not available for just any teacher. We actually choose the teachers that can use these, and I'm just going to choose, I don't know, maybe I'll choose this. Let's see, have they done any listening training? Maybe try A2. No. Have they done young adults training? No. Okay, well let's just grab a course then. Let's try social studies, citizenship skills, and how to be a citizen. Okay, yeah, see, now here we have some data. So the way that this works inside GEC is we'll usually take a group of students, and like this student right here, it looks like they dropped out, so we wouldn't include that student in our calibration event. And we will give each of these students a CEFR test from an outside testing body, somebody that's like, it's always nice to test yourself, but you don't know what you don't know how accurate that's going to be. But you see, on reading, this student is getting from this lesson, this student is getting a 41. So if I said no, the CFR test said they were at a 45 on reading, you see what happens is it says that we have to bump up our score on that lesson. We have to increase our score by 3.32 points. Okay. Now, although I have a lesson right here, this is not how we would start. How we start is we take our internal GEC lessons and we take a set of sample students, and we give them the outside CEFR test. And we don't want to do too many because the CEFR test costs $100. But we get the results, those high quality results, and then we take those results and we calibrate our test. And we have a multi-level, multi-skill test in GEC. We give them that, and then we calibrate our multi-skill, multi-level test based on what we get from those authoritative CEFR scores. And what ends up happening is we end up getting a total down here, and then when we click next, we can update our tests scoring. We can update how our tests are scoring. Just really briefly, let me go into the library and show you what I mean. In any lesson, at the lesson level, I think we also have it at the see down here we can calibrate the entire course right here, or we can calibrate at the lesson level. So we'd be calibrating at the lesson level. So like but we can give a macro calibration at the course level, and then we can give a micro calibration at the lesson level, and it's a skills based calibration. So this might be, like I said, go up 3, and this might come down 2, and these can all be calibrated differently. Now you can imagine that on the first calibration there's going to be a big adjustment, but guess what, on the second calibration there's a small adjustment. Okay, but anyway, now that we have our CEFR test calibrated and we trust it, then we can calibrate our TOEFL test, and so that we trust it, and then we can calibrate the CEFR test, the internal CEFR test, to the internal the internal TOEFL test. So we can make sure that our calibrations, that our connectivities are correct using this system. Where was I? I was in the teacher account showing you that. Okay, well then once we have once we trust our tests, now we can use our tests to calibrate individual lesson output, so that we trust our lesson output. And what I mean by that is I don't want to, I can't calibrate all of my lessons at the same time, because I have to have recent student data that compares from the test. That I can compare to recent student performance in a lesson. So I might, like if a student took a test on like December 15th, I might only calibrate the lesson that they did on December 10th and the lesson that they did on December 20th within that range, because 2 weeks later their skills are going to be different and I'm going to get off calibrations. However, every time I have to come in and calibrate a lesson, I don't want to use an outside CEFR test, because it's $100 every time there's a per student, every time there's a calibration event. So I calibrate my inside test, and then I use my GEC inside tests to calibrate my lessons. But anyway, my point is that we can prove empirically with quantitative data that our test alignments are dependable. So that's the point for I guess for this video.